Yo, what is going on, guys? Got an excellent story for you here today of a woman who asks for an open marriage, and so her husband calls off the wedding, and of course, she absolutely loses her mind. So, first of all, I have said this on every open marriage, open relationship type story. If you have an open marriage or an open relationship, you don't actually have a marriage or a relationship, which is something that is very funny to me because these women think that they're going to get away with just asking their husbands and boyfriends to essentially allow them to sleep with other men. I mean, it begs the question, what's the point of even marrying them in the first place? And of course, the woman loses her mind when the dude says, hey, no, I'm not going to be doing this. Let's jump into this story here. Fiancée asks for an open marriage, so the husband called off the wedding and she lost it. We were 2 months away from getting married. I, a 31-year-old male, was engaged to my fiancée, 29, for just over a year. We had been dating for nearly 4 years before that, living together for 3. Things were good, or at least I thought they were. We were aligned on major life goals. We both wanted kids, we had similar values, and we rarely fought. Our wedding was scheduled for 2 months from now. Everything was in. Dress already bought, everything. He says, I was all in, fully committed. I never thought I'd be the guy to get cold feet, and honestly, I never did. I would have married her tomorrow. So everything is in order here, right? He reckons they've both got the same values, everything's going fine. Usually in stories like this, by the way, I've noticed that dudes tend to overlook key details just because they really want to get married and they want to have the kids and stuff, but usually there's something wrong in the picture that would have helped them realize this. For example, some of the wives have very extensive pasts with men, for example. Some of them have, emotional problems where they just fly off the handle. Some of them have straight up affairs or they're cheating before the relationship begins and the marriage begins and the dude fails to pick up on it. So we're going to run with the idea here that there were no red flags to begin with, but usually there is. So he says, then she hit me with a quote-unquote thought. One night last month, completely out of the blue, she sat me down and said something like, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I feel like we should talk about the idea of an open marriage. He said, I didn't even know what to say. I just blinked at her for a second. At first, I thought she was joking, but no, she was absolutely serious. She said she loved me, wanted to marry me, but felt like maybe we should build our marriage on honesty and freedom and allow ourselves to explore while still being each other's person. Again, the language that these women use when they're just asking to hook up with other dudes is really creative, isn't it, guys? Like, we're sitting here, we're talking about honesty and freedom, we're talking about exploration. Now, me personally, I don't think that these words really match what the woman is trying to say. Have you ever noticed this? Right? When women are trying to convince their husbands or boyfriends of things that are absolutely stupid, that they will use language like this, like, oh, I just need to go on a healing journey. I need to find myself. Okay, exploration, freedom. Oh, there's another dude in the bed. It's a slippery slope, guys, right? First, you're looking for honesty and freedom, and then all of a sudden, there's another dude in the bedroom. It's crazy. It's these women, as soon as a woman asks this question, my goodness, she should be thrown out so damn quickly. And it really goes to show, guys, like, I really want men to understand this. By the time women ask you questions like this, they have already done so much nonsense in the background that you probably have no idea about. They've probably cheated. They probably already have a guy lined up. Their pasts are probably very negative. A lot of them are aiming to divorce you at some point and take your things. There is nothing positive that has, if a woman asks you this question, the odds of there being very negative things that you have missed are incredibly high. And you probably should have broken up with her if you discovered them previously as well. Disgusting. At least he knows the translation. She wants to sleep with other people, but she wants to keep him around. He, of course, asks if there's someone else. She lies and says there isn't, that she just wanted to get ahead of the inevitable urges and that monogamy is outdated. I love how this dude says we're on the same page with big life goals and stuff and values or whatever, and then she just throws this out here: monogamy is outdated. I told her I'm not judging people who live that way. I mean, I am, but just I don't think this guy's being polite about it. I'll judge people for living that way. Hell no, man. Do what you want, but I will judge you negatively for it. He says, but that's not what I signed up for, and that's not what I want. I asked if this was a deal breaker for her, and she said, I'm not saying I need it. I just think it would make us stronger in the long run. Yeah, guys, because nothing builds a stronger marriage than your wife with other men, you know? There's just, what is this logic? Crazy. He says, which to me was code for, I want to do this, but I don't want you to leave me over it. Okay, so at least he's getting the translations right. I thought about it for 48 hours, which is roughly 48 hours too long. Then I called off the wedding. I didn't blow up. I didn't shame her. I just took 2 days to sit with it. I barely ate, barely slept, just stared at the ceiling thinking, if she's already like this now, what happens in 5 years? No, my friend, the question is actually the other way around, okay? If your future wife is acting like this, what has been happening for the previous 5 years that you have been missing is the question you should be asking. He says, we weren't even married yet. This wasn't coming after a decade of marriage and a dry spell. This was pre-honeymoon and pre-vows. It's funny, this guy thinks that these vows would mean anything to her. So I told her I couldn't go through with it, that I didn't want to marry someone who had already one foot out the door and who saw me as an emotional anchor while she explored her quote-unquote freedom, and she freaked hard. At first, she was quiet, then it escalated. She accused me of being emotionally rigid, whatever the hell that means. Said I was throwing everything away over a conversation. Real love is about evolving together. She cried, begged, asked if we could just forget it ever happened, said she didn't actually want an open marriage, she just wanted to talk about the concept, but I couldn't unhear it, he said. Even if she changed her mind, I knew where her head was. Yeah, you can't go back from, once a man hears his wife or girlfriend or whatever say crap like this, you don't go back from it. You know, this will eat at a man for a very long period of time, pretty much indefinitely, until he breaks up with your ass. Rightfully so, by the way. This stuff will not go away. It will not. It's like a can of worms. You open it, you know, you've opened Pandora's box, okay? It's not going back in there. The problem is now here. And so what does she do? She does the classic, the crying, the begging. She says, you know, she tries to downplay that she was just wanting to talk about the concept. And then she said that she even goes on to say that she didn't actually want an open marriage. So she pulled out all the little stops here. She pulled out the emotional nonsense, okay? She said that she didn't actually want it. And then she said she just wanted to talk about it. So 3 layers of manipulation, by the way, right there. Multiple if you count the different emotional angles she's going from. He says, we canceled the venue. I lost some money on deposits, told our families. She's staying with a friend. I'm still in the apartment for now. Everything feels surreal. 1 minute I was planning a honeymoon. The next I'm back to being single and deleting registry links. Mutual friends are split. Some think I overreacted. You know what? You know what's great? The silver lining about this situation, guys, right? If you throw away a woman like this, it is 100% the correct decision to make, okay? So any of the friends who think that you overreacted, it's a very good way of weeding out bad friends. You know, if they think that you overreacted and that you should be there and, you know, going forward with the marriage, make sure you remember which ones who had this opinion. And before they change their opinion, you never speak to them again. This is a great, what's it called? A filter, right? You've just filtered out some people who are not actually your friends and who don't actually have your best interests at heart. This is a great silver lining here. Others think I dodged a bullet. I don't feel triumphant or smug. I feel heartbroken and exhausted. He says some final thoughts here. If your partner, I hate this word, man, partner. If your partner asks for something that that completely violates your sense of security or commitment, listen to it. It doesn't make them the villain, but it also doesn't make you a villain for walking away. I don't know, man. I'm inclined to view these people negatively who pull this crap, right? And this woman is also a complete muppet, right? Because she does it 2 months before the wedding. So she doesn't even get the benefits of more easily being able to walk away with his crap, which is usually what these women try and do, right? They usually actually do it later on so that if it fails, they can actually still divorce his ass and take his possessions. So she kind of lost out double here, which is great to see. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. If you have any similar stories to share, make sure you share them down below. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.